from Phoenix, Arizona, and she has sponsored a ton of people, and she utilizes social media, and she's an amazing human being. That's why people sign up there, because they know, like, and trust her. They love her. You're going to see why. She has over 400 people in her organization, going to 4,000. So help me welcome to the stage Amy Gregory, everyone. Woo!
I am so happy to be here, and I think one of the things that we've already learned this morning is how EXP is changing lives, and EXP has also changed my life. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about how to scale your business without hating your life. Because how many of you have hit burnout before? Raise your hand if you've hit burnout. Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun. And so when I started in real estate, a couple of things you should know about me. I started at age 34. I'm an Enneagram 8, if you're familiar with that. It means I pack a punch. I'm a mom to 4 kids. I am a marketing nerd. I work part-time hours, and I'm a geriatric millennial, which means I know how to write a 5-paragraph essay, but I got a cell phone in college, and I adapted really quickly. In the past few years, I've worked part-time hours, making multi-6 figures, buying and selling real estate. Powerhouse is the name of my EXP organization. If you haven't named your EXP organization, you should name it, brand it, put a name on it. I recruited over 100 agents. I cashed in on the Rolex deal with Gove. If you don't know what that is, Google it, find out, ask. Well, the story on that is Kurt Shewell, Gogo and I. How many of you know Gogo? Raise your hand if you know Gogo. Okay. I was one of Gogo's first recruits, and no one understood what we understood quite yet about social media at the time. And she told Kurt, oh, I'll bring 100 agents. And he laughed at her. And she's like, no, seriously, I will. And he said, great, you do that, I'll get you a Rolex. And I found out about that, and I said, oh, I'll bring 100 agents. And she said, great, I'll get you a Rolex. And so now it's the Rolex deal. Most impressively, though, I have produced highly productive agents with over 70% of my FLAs being FLQAs. If you don't know what those acronyms mean, you need to do your due diligence and understand the EXP model. The typical run rate on that is like a 50%. Most people, 50% of their FLAs are FLQAs. So here's the truth. When I started, my life actually looked like this. I started real estate about 7 years ago. I was pregnant with baby number 4. I showed up to $1 million houses in a minivan, 9 months pregnant with crushed goldfish in the sea. It was as awesome as you think it was. And my hardest year was the year after I had that newborn baby. My first year in real estate, I brought home over 6 figures, working about 10 hours a week. That's because that's how much time my kids were in school. When I started recruiting, I was only 2 years in the business. How many of you think you have to be like some mega icon producer agent in order to recruit agents to EXP? Raise your hand if you have that. Raise your hand. Okay, well then why aren't you doing it? Like, what's the holdup? Okay, I've always been doing less than $10 million in production. I have not been interested in scaling transactions. Instead, what I do with my transactions is I've increased my price point, I have reduced my commute time, and I like to sell like 10 $1 million homes a year, and I can do that in 10 hours a week. This is by all industry definitions. I'm a very average agent, and you usually don't see agents like me on the stage, because when you're doing 10 million or less in production, in the real estate industry, it's like you're a loser. You know it's true. And if you're a female mom to 4 kids and you work part-time hours, you're like a double loser. My argument is like, who is sad about a $250,000 business in 10 hours a week? Like, who's sad about that? Anyone? Yeah, I didn't think so. So here's the big idea. It's not about being the best agent. It's about having the best distribution. I'm going to write that down. Take a picture. It is not about being the best agent. It's about having the best distribution. And spoiler, I had the best distribution. And if you want to use social media as your distribution, which you should, 1,000% you should. I don't care what platform. Pick one and own it. But in order to use it, you have to give people something to talk about. So you know what I started telling people? Yeah, I work 10 hours a week and I'm bringing home over 6 figures. Be mad about it. Tell me I'm a loser. That's cool. So So you'll never stand out if you look like the brand next door. It's like you are the magic. And I'm known for helping women. I help women buy houses. I help women build businesses. Here's what I didn't know when I started. 91% of home purchases are influenced by women. 91%. So when I started in real estate, I thought, I'm just going to help my girlfriends buy their dream houses. And that's what I did. And then I learned, oh, this is so much bigger, right? And you want to understand like the social nuances of like your social demographics, like on a really, really micro level, right? So a lot of my friends put their husbands through law school, medical school, graduate school, whatever it was, and the carrot at the end of that hell of a couple of years was you can buy whatever house you want. And and this is my friend circle, I know I'm talking in like a big overarching thing here, but women, where you live, it usually influences women more than men, right? So for a gut check on this statistic, there's no way my husband is buying a house that I'm not 100% in on. There's no way. There's no way. But there is a lot of scenarios where he might only be like 75% in on the house, but I'm like, oh, no, this is what we're doing. And he's like, okay, fine. Because guess what? It impacts me more than it impacts him, and he's smart. He's smart. You're all laughing, but you all know it's true. You know it's true. All right, so I'm going to teach you how I recruited so many agents. But here's the process in scaling your business. Most agents start with buyers. You need to understand this process. Buyers are easier to prospect. I started with buyers. I prospected them on social media. Holy hell, what Phil just shared. Like, you can own social media so fast. It has never been easier to grow on social media than it is right now. Number 2, then you become listing heavy and increase your price point, okay? I know a lot of people would be like, oh, but I love working with first-time home buyers. Okay. I love working with people that want to buy their $2 million dream home. I love those people. You want to know why? Because it's the same amount of work for me. It's the same amount of work for me. And guess what, though? They can afford what they're buying. I don't have to tell them, hey, by the way, you can't buy a couch until you close. We can skip all those conversations. And you want to know what else? Those people love real estate agents because they don't want to take on the liability of buying and selling because they actually have assets to lose. They will pay you 3% and they will not be able to get your name out of their mouth. Now, once you have buyers and sellers figured out, the next step to scaling is you have to get into the agent business. And this is how EXP changed my life because my desire to build a local team was zero. Zero. Did I mention I have 4 kids? Yeah, I don't need 400 agents. No. Okay, so everything I built inside my EXP organization, one of the strategic moves I made was I said I'm not going to scale transactions. I'm just going to leave transactions at 10 hours a week. I'm going to do what I can, and we're going to let that number be what it's going to be. But I am going to scale agent growth. Why? Because I was already on social media. So why would I just build in my local market when I can build everywhere? Everything was built with one link, which was schedule a call. Schedule a call. How many of you would like agents just scheduling calls on your calendar? Raise your hand if you would like that. Okay, good. Because I've done this without one cold call. I don't do lunch and learns. I don't do any of that other crap. I post to social media. They schedule a call with me, and then they move. So this is what my DMs look like. Would you like your DMs to look like this? Because you want to know what I share with all these people? The link to schedule a call with me. So I'm going to teach you exactly how to do it today. You ready? I said, are you ready? Okay. I mean, like, it should kind of piss you off that I have more FLQAs than you because I'm only working 20 hours a week. And I'm not selling as much real estate as most of you either, so you should have a chip on your shoulder. Number 1, 6 steps to success, explainer video. You need to have a long-form explainer video. It should be about 20 to 30 minutes. Freaking use AI to have it written for you. Write the script, go into whoever shoots all your listing videos, use their teleprompter, get yourself dressed, look good, you know what I mean? Have a long-form explainer video, and it should explain all of EXP. This will save you so much time, so that every time you get on a phone call, you're not explaining all of EXP, okay? The next video you need to film is why you made the switch. You're going to upload them both to YouTube. You're going to create a calendar, add a description, add an email workflow, okay? This is step one, long form explainer. Go pro on producing this. I don't care if it costs you $5,000. It's not going to. But don't go cheap. Like, don't do that. That's not a good idea. Number two, this is a short form video of why you made the switch. It should be about 2 to 3 minutes long. You can film this with your iPhone. Make sure it's on a horizontal. And then just talking about like the humanness. I made the switch to eXp Realty because it worked well with social media. And I talked about being a mom and like I don't want to have a big local team. That's not how I want to scale my business because I like to take a month off in the summer too. In case I didn't mention that. I do that too. So this is about 2 to 3 minutes. You're going to upload both videos to YouTube, okay? Leave it on public. Let people run into it. You're not going to be sad if people run into these videos on YouTube and schedule a call with you, okay? In your YouTube description, just go ahead and put a link to your calendar so if they do run into it, they can. You're going to use Calendly. I literally built my entire organization off this one link. You're going to use Calendly. This is where agents can schedule calls with you. You're going to share this link like nobody's business, okay? So when you create your calendar link, you're going to say, hey, watch these videos before we get on our call. Why? To save you time, right? It's better to have that long form explainer. You'll get it really succinct. So this is literally my exact description. I say you must already be licensed. If you miss the phone call, I'm not calling you back. Why? Because I don't want to work with agents that are annoying. Do you want to work with agents that are annoying? Me either. So just don't let them into your network. Like if agents put up the red flag that they're annoying, you're like, yeah, you're done. I tell my daughter the same thing when she's dating. I'm like, yeah, red flag, he's out. Like we're not doing this. We're not. You think I'm joking, but I'm not. I have a phase out program for all of my kids' friends. Yeah, I do. I'm not joking. Ask my husband. I was doing it last night, texting with my daughter. I'm like, he's out, this guy's in. And here's what you send in your text message. Then you add an email workflow. I paid a copywriter $10,000 to write my email workflow about 3 or 4 years ago. Phil just told you how to do it on AI. Thanks, Phil. That was awesome, by the way. I was like, damn. So you have a workflow, okay? And then you're going to share this link again and again and again. The question becomes is how do you create content that make it so people are like, yeah, I want to talk to Amy, right? So you need to understand like what type of agent wants to work with you. I built my entire organization. How many of you know Dan Beer and Kyle Whistle? Raise your hand. That's so great, right? Are they me? No. Do you think Dan or Kyle want an agent like me on their team? No. They don't. They don't, right? Because I behave more like a CEO than I do an employee, right? And so what I decided was I just thought, well, I'm just going to go find every other alpha female agent, and I'm going to own her. Every female solo agent is mine, right? Because it's lonely. I'm not joking. It's freaking lonely. You're closing a bunch of transactions. Real estate is kind of a bro fest. I love you all, but it is kind of a bro fest. And I thought, well, great. What are all the like female solo agents doing? I don't know. So I started collaborating with them, right? And I just decided to decide. How many of you heard Brent Gove talk about 40 agents in 8 months? 5 agents a month? How many of you heard that? I sat in rooms just like this. I left my 1-year-old baby at home because Gogo said, you better get your butt to build. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to build. I don't know what I'm doing here. And I sat there and I listened to him. And you know what I decided? I just decided that Brent wasn't luckier than me. He wasn't smarter than me. He wasn't more talented than me. He had just done it longer than me. And I just decided if Brent could do that without social media, and I've got social media in my pocket, literally nothing is stopping me. And so I made a goal to hit 40 agents in 8 months. And I remember Kurt Johnson is in my upline, and he'd message me. He's like, what the heck are you doing? Because all of a sudden I decided, and that's the thing that's holding you back, is you just haven't decided to go for it. Every single one of you is capable of having 40 agents on your front line in the next 8 months. Like, easy. It's not hard. It's consistency. Amateurs want to do what they love. Professionals learn to love what it takes. And I am telling you, EXP has changed my life. And it's not because of the financial wins. Those are really fun. But it's like all of a sudden, I have 450 other female solo agents building with me. You have these relationships that change the game for you. My name is Gregory, and over the last couple of years, I've built the largest and fastest growing organizations at eXp Realty. The best part, though, is I've been able to do it in part-time hours. I haven't had to sacrifice my family. And if there's one piece of advice I can give you, is it is not worth sacrificing your family. So get your crap right, okay? Get your own crap right, and do it. And stop giving yourself, oh, it needs to take a year and 80 hours a week. That is not true. That is not true. Follow the steps, use what Phil taught you, and you'll be to 40 agents in no time. Thank you.
Woo! Whoa! Great job.